Let's talk about the one thing that everybody is very good at doing, but nobody wants to admit to, and that's making mistakes. I hadn't initially planned on talking about this today, but something was constantly running through my mind over the past few days, and I couldn't really get it out of my head. It was a mistake that I made very recently that made me question myself, question what I'm doing professionally, and made me basically wonder if I'm cut out for anything. And I know that sounds traumatic, because in hindsight, the mistake was very small and it had a very quick fix. But as somebody who suffers from anxiety and depression, mistakes are something that run through my mind every single day. Now, if you're one of those people, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you're not, I'm pretty sure you still regret some of the mistakes you've made in your life and can't really figure out how to stop making them. Now, one thing that's helped me come to terms with the fact that I'm human, lo and behold, is understanding these three things. And the first one, I guess, is the most important, and that's nobody really cares. Nobody really cares. You're not that special. At the end of the day, people will probably be talking about you, but in a week, a year, a month, who even cares? People will not care. It'll be something that is forgotten and they would have moved on to the next thing. As sad as that sounds, it's the truth. And something else that I also had to kind of remember was that without making mistakes, you're not really growing. You're not developing. You're not doing anything new. If you keep doing the same thing over and over and you keep getting the same results, great, you're not making mistakes. But are you evolving? Are you actually learning anything new? And are you developing as a person? Now, if I have to think about being exactly the same for the rest of my life, or making a few mistakes, trying something new here and there, and coming out with different results, I think I would pick this other one. I would rather make mistakes than to pretty much live in a hole. And the last thing I have to remember all the time is that I'm human. I know, shock and horror, but I'm human. Every human being makes mistakes, and that's okay. As long as you haven't killed anybody, as long as, it doesn't end up making you live on the streets, or as long as you haven't put somebody else's life in jeopardy, then I'm pretty sure you can recover from that mistake. Doesn't matter what it is, to be honest. What matters is what you do after you make the mistake. How do you learn? How do you grow? How do you evolve from that? And essentially, you should be making mistakes so that you can learn. And that's something that's interesting because I recently said something to a superior in my company, and I said, oh no, I'm not sure if I'm cut out for this role because I made a mistake, blah, blah, blah. And he just looked at me and said,
make another one.
And I was shocked. He actually told me to make another mistake. And I was like, wait, does this person want to get me fired? Is he pulling my leg? What's going on over here? But he told me this. He said, if you're not making mistakes, you're not doing something new. And it's something that I have to keep telling myself every single day. And as much as it sucks to make the mistakes when you're doing them, it's pretty cool when you can actually get to a point where you're teaching somebody else a lesson that you've learned. Now, in the work environment, this is extremely essential because obviously you want to have a manager who knows how to handle situations, who knows how to handle problems or whatever. And in real life, you're going to have kids potentially, and when they grow up, they need to know what's right from wrong. They need to figure out what they should be doing, where they should be going, blah, blah, blah. And they're going to turn to you, either your mom or your dad or whatever, but they're going to turn to you for some advice. And if you never know what's going to happen if they go left, how are you going to tell them that right is the right way? You know, and I may be potentially just trying to find ways to cope with the fact that I make a lot of mistakes, but it is what it is. I'm okay with that, and I really hope that you essentially become happy. See, there I made a mistake right there. I hope that you get okay with making mistakes and start learning from them.